Hey techies, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll look onto synthetic data generation using Generative Adversarial Network or GANs. We will start by exploring this in Jupyter Notebook and then take it up a notch by integrating it with Streamlit to create a super interactive web app. So let's get started and revolutionize the way we handle data. First things first, let's get our environment set up by installing the necessary libraries. We will be using Cbon, Pandas, and CDGAN. These libraries will allow us to load our dataset, manipulate the data, and generate synthetic data using GANs. Here's how we do it. I'm using this versions as I mentioned here. You can use this version or any versions which you are comfortable with. I have already set up on my system, that's why it shows requirement already satisfied. With the libraries installed, it's time to import the necessary input them into our notebook. This will set up for loading and exploring the data set and of course generating synthetic data. Okay, then we will load the famous iris data set using Cbon and take a quick look at the first few rows to understand our data structure. I have loaded the iris dataset from Cbon library and then viewing the first 5 rows of the dataset. As you can see, we have sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. These are the input features, and the output feature is species, the type of iris flower. Now we need to identify the categorical features in our dataset. This step is crucial as the CDGAN model uses this information during the training process. Okay, so since my data is really simple, I'm just gonna exclude the data column of data types which has numbers in it, and then gonna take the other columns. So my categorical features is only species. So just gonna ignore other columns and then take species. Okay, putting it into categorical feature. Now let's see what's in. We have species there. If your data is complicated, then you need to definitely find another ways to um, find your categorical features, or you can directly just create a variable and pass in your categorical features manually. Moving on, here comes the exciting part, training our CDGAN model. We will initialize the model and feed it to iris dataset. This process will create a synthetic model that mirrors our real data. Okay, here I am initializing the model, then here I am training the model where I am passing in the data and then telling what are my categorical features. This will actually help my model to create synthetic data. Now let me load. Yes. With the model trained, we can now generate synthetic data. Let's create 1,000 synthetic samples and take a peek at the first 20 rows. You can actually create how much ever rows you want with the data you trained. I'm gonna just type 1,000 rows and then gonna look on to my first 20 rows of my synthesized data. Yeah, there we go. We have our data. As you can see, we have the negative values as well. These data generation will actually help in many cases. One of them are test case generation. Once the model is ready and then you need to test your model, then you can just synthesize your data, test it with this data, and understand how your model works with bad data, good data, how your model works, and then you will be able to evaluate and train your model accordingly. This is There you go. This is done. Finally, we'll save our generated synthetic data to a CSV file, making it easier to share and use in our other projects as well. Yeah, the data is saved. Let me check. This is old one. It'll be loading here. Yeah, there you go. We got that. As you can see, our model has generated a data with 1,000 rows. Now let's take our project to the next level by creating a Streamlit app. This will allow us to generate synthetic data directly from a web interface. Now let me open, yes. Create a Python file named app.py, or I have named it as streamlit-app.py. First, I'm importing the necessary libraries. Of course, we need Streamlit, then pandas, and followed by our model cdgan. Then, I'm creating a file uploader so that I can choose a file how and upload the data set directly into my Streamlit app so that it'll learn from the data and synthesize data. Now moving on, I we will add after adding the file uploaded, we need to add an input box for to specify the number of rows for synthetic data generation. I am labeling it as number of rows. Minimum value I'm giving it as 0 and step as 1,000. I'll tell you what that is. Then here the uploaded file will be loaded. Then followed by that the categorical features are found. Then loading, initializing the CDGAN model. Followed by that training my model. Then synthesized data will be stored in this, and finally it will be viewed in our Streamlit app. Let us run. It's Streamlit run followed by your Streamlit app name. Okay, I'm gonna browse. I'm gonna put the synthesized iris data just for sample, and then I'm gonna put as 1,000. Step is nothing but when you click here, it has to move 1,000 times. You can actually manually do this as well, and then click enter. Then the synthetic data is produced here. You can actually download the data in CSV format as well. Moving on. Yes, you uploaded the data and you tell how much data you want, and then the synthetic data is produced here. There you have it. We have successfully generated synthetic data using CTGAN in Jupyter Notebook and created a dynamic Streamlit app as well. If you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you have any doubts, post it on the comments below. Thank you for watching.